start here. We got some news and notes. So the Raptors obviously continue their 6-game road trip tonight in San Antonio. They've headed out west, and from Kayla Gray, Fred VanVleet says that he will play tonight versus San Antonio, and he says that he is feeling good. This is obviously just a huge sign of encouragement. The Raptors went through practice yesterday. Fred was a full participant. He had been out for a few weeks, really, with that knee issue that was kind of bothering him and lingering. So my question to you is this, Vivek. Let's say if I had to put $100 on this, and I would ask you, do you think
are we trying to find someone to defend LeBron?
No, relax, man. Come on, what are you doing? What are we doing? We're trying to change the vibes. We're trying to be positive. Raptors gonna win tonight. I feel it. But if I had to bet you $100, would you bet that Fred VanVleet will make as many or more than the rest of the teams in terms of 3-point total tonight if he plays?
You know what? I would not take that bet because I feel like
really?
Gary is about to. I feel like Gary's about to snap out of it.
Okay.
I feel it coming. I feel, especially Fred being able to take some of the pressure off of him, take some of that attention away. I think it'll create some better looks for Gary. And so now when you get those 3-point threats going between those two guys, then more shots will come for the other guys too. So I will say that the rest of the team will combine to make at least as many as Fred tonight.
Well, there's also the element that I think has been missing too, is just like the drive and kick element that I think Fred often provides the team that I think has been really missing over the stretch where they've been really losing. So you know what? That's good. That's good. But maybe we will maintain this bet outside of this on-air program, and we'll talk about that after. But no, I mean, I think the bigger concern is just like, look, you get Fred back, which is great. Everyone wants Fred back. It's just like, how do you make sure that Fred sticks around and he's going to be good for a while? Because, like, I mean, we see the results. There's no depth there, really. And that's where, if you're the Raptors, like, do you have to change your approach in terms of maybe we play him less? Maybe, you get him on some sort of rest schedule? Like, what are some of the things that you think the Raptors could be doing? Obviously, you and I are not doctors. Like, of course they have more specialists to do this. But what would make you feel comfortable as a fan to see Fred in the lineup consistently?
Well, first off, it's about understanding what the expectations will be during that final week of the season, where you'll be jockeying for positioning heavy, looking at the play-in tournament, looking at potentially playing a round in the playoffs, and knowing that in those games, Fred will absolutely be playing 40 plus minutes, right? And so if that is the expectation, then I think right now you do need to manage a little bit. And so what does that mean? We've seen Scotty Barnes run point a little bit. We've seen Pascal Siakam handle the ball plenty. And so I think I would lean more towards them. If Malachi Flynn can make it back sooner rather than later and can continue the form he's shown, that I think offers the biggest window in terms of getting Fred's minutes down to, that 34 to 36 minute range where I would feel a lot more comfortable. And so that's not, a huge decrease from the 38 that he's playing, but I think that's enough where it's manageable and you're not causing him to, just disintegrate his body the way he has over the course of the season already.
Yeah, I think those are reasonable. And I think that, the team should probably look to do this. I mean, look, there's not that many games left in the season, but you definitely need Fred to be available as possible for as many games as possible. And I think the other question I really wanted to ask you is there a concern for you maybe in terms of just like the way Fred plays or in terms of his play style, where because of his size and because of the way he commits to defense and he obviously takes a lot of contact, like is there a worry for you that he may not be one of those players that can consistently play, like, I don't know, 75 plus games for you in a season?
I think to me that comes down to the front office just recognizing his mindset, because I think you have to recognize the reality that the way he plays, that is just who he is on the basketball court. There's nothing that's going to change that. In that sense, he's very similar to Kyle Lowry. And so I think you have to look at Fred VanVleet and protect him from himself.
Okay.
If you ask Fred VanVleet before a game, hey, can you give us something? Can you give it? He'll say, yeah, I'll give you what I got. And before you know it, he's playing 40 minutes, right? Yeah. And so that's where I think you have to be proactive in protecting him and recognizing, hey, if you look back on this season, were there moments before getting to this point where he absolutely had to sit out where you could have managed the situation better?
Yeah.
Were there nights where, sure, maybe he was saying he could go, but realistically, when you're seeing him limp out there on the court, it's not the greatest look. And so I think those are the things as an organization you have to look at and just manage going forward and say, hey, Fred VanVleet's compete level is elite, and we want that level to be on display every time he's out there. So if we have to, just temper expectations a little bit on how often he plays and how many minutes he plays, then that's something that we have to manage when we can't just look to Fred to do it.
Right. And that's something the front office, in terms of like thinking forward in future seasons, like you just got to make sure you do have that reliable depth. I mean, like this year, for example, they don't even have a reliable third guard, which has been talked about ad nauseum on this program. I don't really want to get into it now, but you need to make sure that that backup is available, because you look at it like last season. Let's just throw out last season because obviously he missed a lot of time in April onward, but there was also some tanking going on, so it's hard to say how much of those injuries were like him being actually hurt or him missing time because the front office wanted to get Scotty Barnes, which obviously was the right idea. But like you look back at the season before that, the bubble season, right? He missed 2 chunks of the season in January, in December as well. It's typically in sort of 2-week periods, but he'll miss some time. He missed some time in March of that year as well. You look at the year before that. In the championship season, I mean, he missed a bit at the start of the year. He missed about a month in the middle of the season as well. And so I don't think Fred is like not a well-conditioned athlete. I think absolutely he is. I think it's just like his play style with the commitment that he puts towards the defensive end, which how much he creates for the team. He always is one of the team leaders in terms of drives per game. Like just at that size, he's just going to take a lot of punishment. And, that's where you just need to construct the roster to have a little bit more depth. And of course, right now it's also unfortunate because I guess the depth would be Malachi, but Malachi is also hurt. Hopefully we get to see him back on the court as well because he was having a breakout time.